we're going to talk about one of the biggest annoyances I have with the JT/Gladiator, and it's power. I was thrilled to find out that it has a 400 watt inverter in here. My JL only has, I think it's rated for 110 watts or something. Really can't power anything, but 400 watts should easily be able to power a nice big power station. That's a lot of good power. However, there's a problem, and this is my gripe. While it is 400 watts, it is not a pure sine wave inverter. And secondly, it's not going to limit itself. So here I have a big Blue Eddy Elite 200 V2 power station. Probably the biggest power station I have. This thing is over 2,000 watt hours, and it can take in a lot of power. Now, if I try and start the engine up right now to try and charge this, just being connected right into the 400 watt outlet, the inverter is going to turn off. It's not going to work. Let me show you. Now, it's going to turn on. We should start seeing a little bit of activity on here, and it turns off. That's it. We're done. Now, I'll hear that cycle every once in a while. It's a soft circuit breaker, but it's not going to charge this. So what do? Let me turn off the engine, and I'm going to show you. Now, my long-term solution is going to be something different, and I'm literally waiting for it to arrive. And that's going to be the Blue Eddy Charger 1. That's going to connect up to the battery. It has a small box that I'll mount behind the seats here, and it will supply up to 560 watts of power to the power stations in order to keep them charged. It's exactly what I do in Optimus, our JL. It has been working flawlessly since that product came out in 24. So we're gonna do the same thing in here. But is there another way? Is there some way that we can use this 110 port that's back here? And the answer is yes. So what I have is a waterproof LED power supply. Now, you can pick this up on Amazon for about 60 bucks. This is going to solve our problem. So what do? I'm going to plug this into here, and then I had to add XT60 plugs on here. Now, these are going to plug right in to almost every power station you have. Now, if you have one that's got a different type of plug for solar panels, you just have to solder on the right plug. Maybe it's a DC 5521, maybe it's a Mini Anderson, whatever it is, you may have to do the right plug on here, but 90%, 95% or plus of the power stations on the market use XT60s. So I'm going to plug this in. We're going to start the engine. We're going to see what happens. Okay, so we have 200 watts of power going into our big power station. This thing being 2,000 watt hours, that'll take a while for it to charge at 200 watts, but I rarely ever have it that low. It's gonna be because I ran the diesel heater overnight, ran some lights, and I may need to put, 10, 15%, 20% power back into it. So that's only gonna be maybe 200 watts. It's gonna charge this thing back up in about an hour. No problem at all. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link to a different LED power supply in the description, one that will do 300 watts. This is dual 200s. does not work the way I hoped it would, and then I could do 2 power stations at 200 watts each. Doesn't work. It'll do one of them at 200. If I plug in a second one, it'll pop the soft circuit breaker. So that didn't work, but the single 300 watt one will work, and it'll put more power into this. And you're still only gonna pay about 60 bucks. Great deal. All the information you need will be in the video description below. So, quick and easy way. Our permanent solution will be a Blue Eddy Charger 1. I'll get it mounted up here, round up to the battery, and that'll put out 560 watts into one of these big guys. Charge this thing from 0% all the way up in 4 hours. Hard to beat that. But on those trips where I want a power station in here to run a fridge, and I want to have another power station charged up and ready to go to run a diesel heater, my lights, and other camp stuff at night, then I may pull out this LED power supply so I can use both of those chargers at the same time to keep everything charged up. So this is my Jeep Gladiator power hack. Hope this was useful for you, because I know this was frustrating when I learned that I couldn't charge a power station directly from that 110 volt port. So I hope this helps some of you guys out there. I know it would have been good information for me to have when I started planning out my Gladiator. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you've come up with some creative hacks yourself, or what you think of this one. If you want to see more stuff like this, then let me know. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe out there and charged up, and we'll see you on the trails.